Welcome to Thunder Bay Live. We're here today with Greg Stein from the Thunder Bay Police Force. Greg, we're here to talk about Wanted Wednesdays. We've had a lot of comments, questions, concerns, etc. We're here to get those things answered. So, Greg, first of all, Wanted Wednesday, why was that program initiated in Thunder Bay?
Wanted Wednesday was a push from one of the fellas in my office who thought that we needed to do something as a resource to try to lessen the number of warrants that we have outstanding. At any given time, the Thunder Bay Police Service has about 2,000 warrants outstanding. So we spend a lot of time, a lot of resources trying to arrest people to see that they get to court. Other agencies in the province, other agencies in the country do the similar sort of thing. But we think that we spent a fair amount of time researching it and developing it, and we think that we likely went above and beyond what a lot of other agencies did in putting our program out there. To date, the program has been successful. We believe it's been successful. We're in week 10 currently. We had 1 month of amnesty. We instituted the program January the 1st, 2017. We went out to the media, gave them media releases, announced that we were going to start the program. We really hoped that people would heed the warning, I guess you would say, and would turn themselves in. We did have 13 people turn themselves in the month of January. So that in itself, I again would say is a success. The program kicked off February the 1st, 2017, which just happened to be a Wednesday. Again, we're in week 10. As of the end of week 9, we've had about 45% success rate for the people that we've put out. We have executed approximately 85 warrants of the people that have turned themselves in or been caught. Some people have chose to turn themselves in, and again, that's a good thing. I think that still makes it successful, and in fact is more successful for us as a resource because we're not spending the time looking for those people again on the list. They're choosing to turn themselves in, so that is good.
So, Greg, if I could ask a question about the fact, do these people know they're wanted? Because out there, you look at the comments, nobody knows what happens if someone's in the hospital. But first question, do they know that they're wanted? Explain to the people out there what a bench warrant is.
So to answer your question in a nutshell, the answer is yes, they do. The Thunder Bay Police Service has specifically stayed away from first instance warrants, and we are targeting solely people that have bench warrants. So the people that have bench warrants have been arrested, they've been charged, and they have been released on some form of document compelling them to attend court. So the people that we are arresting have bench warrants, and they have made the choice to not appear in front of a judge. They've chosen not to go to court to answer to their charges. So they, at one point in time, certainly were fully aware that they had a charge and that they had to appear in court. Now, it certainly may be a case that they may have ended up in the hospital, they may have missed the court date, they may have a mental illness, whatever the case may be, but the fact remains is that at some point in time, they fully knew that they had to appear in court to deal with the charges. If it's a case where someone is in the hospital and they have a warrant, you can certainly contact the court, you can certainly contact the police and advise of your position, and that matter can be dealt with quite easily. Court date can be put over, whatever the case may be. But to answer your question, yes, they absolutely knew that they had matters that had to be dealt with.
Okay, another question that was out there was, why don't we just focus on the very violent criminals? The criminals are really concerned to society. Why do we go after maybe minor offenses through these bench warrants? Could you explain that part?
Yep, I can. We are again, targeting the people with bench warrants. Some of them are for what some might call lesser offenses. Some of them are certainly for greater offenses. Our big push with the program from the get-go was for the victims. One of the things that the police service in Ontario is bound to do is to care for victims. And one of the ways that we feel that we can care for victims is that they see some closure in court. And the way that that happens is that the person that is the accused party has to appear in court and answer to the charges so that they can be dealt with, and therefore the victim will get closure. The other thing is that a person may have a lesser charge that we're looking for on the Wanted Wednesday. But what people need to keep in mind is that while we may have a person that has 2 bench warrants, and they may in fact even seem to a lesser degree, a lesser offense, we may have 15 other warrants that we are not allowed to advertise. They may be a first instance warrant. So by arresting the one person on 2 bench warrants, we end up executing a total of 17 warrants. So some of those warrants may be for break and enter to a residence, which people may not realize still carries a lifetime sentence in the criminal code. It may be for assault. It may be for domestic related incidents. So there's a lot more to the program than people might see just looking at the periphery of it. It's a lot more. There's a lot more to it.
Now, what about situations, and I've read comments where people say, you know what, you put the person's face out there, and then, you know, some kid sees it at school and they bully the other kids. Can you talk a little bit about that social impact, or what's transpiring at the schools nowadays anyway?
First off, I would like to hope that that would not be the case where somebody would get bullied because their family member's picture is on Wanted Wednesday. And that certainly was not the idea behind this, to bring bullying out on people. To date, I can honestly say that I have not had a report of that happening. There may be things on social media, but to my knowledge, no one has actually notified the police and started an investigation. Should that happen, I would absolutely hope that people would contact the police and bring that forward. As far as bullying in the schools, unfortunately, it's dealt with every day in the schools. One of the things I look after are the school resource officers, and it's sad that they have to deal with it, but they do deal with it on a daily basis. With all the advertising campaigns out there, you may have seen myself and other officers, including the chief of police, wearing the pink shirts to speak out against bullying. It still remains. It's probably been there forever, and despite everyone talking out against it, it likely will remain forever.
Okay, question regarding the name, Wanted Wednesday. Could they call it something else? Is it too harsh? Where did the name come from?
The name essentially got put together on its own. Because we deal with the media in this, we need to give the media time to prepare to get it out, to air it, so to speak. There is a lot of work that goes on in the background by myself, my designate, and the crime analyst. We look at a pile of warrants, and we decide who is applicable to be put on the program, and then we try to gauge it. If there's someone that we might be looking for something else and they happen to have a bench warrant, well, then you might see that person get put on the Wanted Wednesday. Because of the checks and balances that we go through, essentially Monday we sit down and go through the bench warrants, see who can go on it, who cannot go on it. Again, we stay away typically from domestic violence incidents. We also stay away from the first instance warrants. So once we go through everything on Monday, Tuesday, that goes to our records branch. They check it out as a double check. and then at midnight on Tuesday, it's loaded onto our website. It's given out to the media, and it happens on Wednesday. Since the people are wanted and it's Wednesday, it just seemed fitting that the name Wanted Wednesday would apply.
Okay, you made a very good point. You said that some criminals have a bench warrant, but they have a ton of other charges against them, and the only way to advertise them is through that bench warrant. So that's how you use Wanted Wednesdays to sort of apprehend those people.
Wanted Wednesday definitely assists us in that.
Okay.
Not everyone that has a bench warrant and is on Wanted Wednesday has other dealings with the police. Some of the people may have one bench warrant and nothing else. They may have had no other involvement with the police. We get information on people. It might be a case where the person doesn't get arrested, but we find out that the person is now living in British Columbia. Well, that person is likely going to come off of our Wanted Wednesday list, because there's no sense in us advertising that on a lengthy basis when we know, because of solid information that's been provided to us by the public, that the person's now residing in British Columbia. We could advise the authorities out there that Thunder Bay Police Service has a warrant for them. If they happen to get dealt with by the police in that area, they'll likely send a message saying that, yes, the person is in fact here. They've been advised of the warrant. The chances of them getting arrested and returned on the weight of the warrant would entirely depend on what the warrant is for and the Crown's position if they are willing to return the person from, for example, British Columbia.
So people are saying, can you have an amnesty Monday? Can you have a month? Yeah, you've had a month already.
Yeah.
Is it possible to have something in the future so people come forward? Or can they come forward anytime they want?
Absolutely. We had the amnesty month in the month of January. We sent it out to the media. We showed what we were going to be putting out there. We were very hopeful that people would turn themselves in. We did have 13 people that have turned themselves in. The program started February the 1st, and from that point we have had people that have turned themselves in. Some of them have commented, I don't want my name, I don't want my picture on Wanted Wednesday. And to me, again, I say that's a success, and that's exactly what we would hope to do. I would like nothing better than to focus my energy and that of the crime analyst on other duties that we have to do, as opposed to looking through 2,000 warrants to see who has a warrant. I know that not everyone's going to turn themselves in, but as far as an amnesty goes, an amnesty Monday, essentially every day is amnesty, so to speak, because you can certainly go down to the police station. It's open 24/7, 365 days a year, and if you have a warrant, contact your lawyer. Most lawyers will either attend with you or certainly be waiting for a phone call. You can go down to the police station on Balmoral Street, turn yourself in, and I guarantee you that you won't show up on Wanted Wednesday, because you're going to do the right thing and turn yourself in.
Thank you very much for answering those questions. For people out there, if you have other questions, you can email me at info@thunderbaylive.com, and I will pass them on to Sergeant Stein.
Yeah.
Right? And is there anything else you'd like the people out there to know concerning the program or anything like that?
No, if you have questions, certainly you can email them to Aldo. You can contact me at the police station. My email address is greg.stein@thunderbaypolice.ca. I've already had some people that have emailed questions, tried to answer them honestly, open to feedback. And again, we're open 24/7, so if you have a warrant, please do yourself a favor, turn yourself in. People make choices, some of them are not particularly good choices, but if you have a warrant, have it dealt with and put it behind you and move forward in life.
Thank you, Sergeant Stein, for
Thank you.
answering the questions. Again, thank you for watching Thunder Bay Live. You have an issue, contact Thunder Bay Live at info@thunderbaylive.com. You got the question, we've got the answer. Thank you again for being here today. Explain that. That's very good, because there was so much comments on it. Take care. Have a good day.